So, today we are going to be talking about recycling and pollution. How many of you recycle at home? Like you have separate bin for plastic or paper, cardboard. We used to have bins outside that used to sit, and they would have cardboard, plastic, paper, and aluminum. And they'd all go into these bins. And right now, actually, our jailer, Mr. Bergenstein, he's got this really cool, like, little can cart where he puts in cans, and they donate all the profit to canines. So they donate to the animal shelter. Okay? But how many of you ride in a car or a bus to school? All of you. So those cars require fuel. And that fuel is what?
It is diesel or gas.
Yeah, it'd be diesel or gas. And those fuels are formed over millions of years in the earth. And then we have harvested them, and we've got them up from underneath the crust. And then we have taken them, filtered them, and then we put them in our vehicles. Okay? Now, we're going to get into what we're doing today. So, today we will construct an argument with evidence that in a particular habitat, some organisms can survive well, some survive less, and some cannot survive at all. Now, we've talked about this a little bit before, about how ducks and oil spills and just aquatic animals in general, and how they have to take them out of the water, clean all the oil off their body, and they typically use this stuff called Dawn, which is a type of dish liquid, and it cleans them. And without the humans stepping in to help those ducks, they wouldn't be here anymore. Okay? Now, do we think that's pollution or recycling?
Pollution.
Yes, exactly. Now, I'm sure you've probably seen those pictures of those sea turtles that have been affected by the plastic in the oceans. So they'll have to cut off the can rings. Yeah, it's really sad. But today, you will be able to sort recyclable and non-recyclable items with 80% accuracy. So, that means if you have 10 tries to do something, you get 8 of them perfect. Okay? So you just need to get 8 out of 10. But I want you to shoot for higher, okay? So where does pollution come from? Pollution occurs when chemicals, dust, noise, and radiation alter the air, water, and soil, making them harmful to the environment and human health. So if we'll look at these right here, look at that. Ew. So what do you think is in there?
Like trash.
Trash? Yeah. What about what's in that trash?
Pollution.
Well, it is pollution, yes, but you gotta think about what is in the trash specifically. Elizabeth?
Like plastic and stuff that can kill the other animals that are in the
Yeah, but this looks like it's kind of in like a lake or a swampy type area. Now, this right here, have you guys ever seen those before?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude?
We have, on the way to Munkerville, they have some of those.
They do? Yeah? You don't like it? Do you see how it puffs all that big, thick smoke out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what type of pollution might that be? If it's puffing smoke into the air? Yeah, Nicole?
Gas.
Gas? So, but what do we call our atmosphere? It's made up of what? It's made up of gases, but we just call it what?
Air.
Yeah, it's air pollution. So there are different types of pollution, but these are the 3 main types. So air pollution refers to the release of pollutants, which are the bad things, the bad nasty gases, into the air that are detrimental to human health and the planet as a whole. Detrimental means very bad, okay? That's a new big word. Now, soil pollution is the contamination of soil at a higher than normal concentration. So, what do we think might contaminate soil?
Stuff that comes out of the truck.
So like, if you're on the road or the interstate and all that stuff's coming out, or that oil, and then it comes and seeps into the soil. Still really gross. But it's from materials of human origin that have adverse or bad effects on human and ecosystem health. An ecosystem consists of, do we know what an ecosystem consists of? Plants, animals, food chains, and all of those things, okay? Now, water pollution occurs when harmful substances such as chemicals or microorganisms, which are really, really tiny, you can only see them with a microscope, okay? They contaminate a stream, river, lake, ocean, aquifer, that's a word we haven't talked about yet, aquifer or other body of water, degrading water quality and rendering it toxic to humans or the environment. Have you ever seen or heard your parents talk about when we have a boil water advisory? Heard about that before?
Yeah.
That is usually when that water pollution occurs. They can't filter out all of the bad stuff quickly enough, so they send out a message saying, hey, you don't need to drink any of your water, you don't need to use it for cooking unless you have boiled it first. And they say that because when you boil water, it tends to get all of the toxins out from that point on, okay? It usually gets rid of most things that they can't get. It's just better be safe than sorry. So why is it bad? Pollution is a major environmental problem that can harm human health, damage the environment, and contribute to climate change. Does anybody know what the temperature was today?
The high of 65 and the low of 35.
Okay, so today is at the end of November, and that's not a normal temperature for the end of November. It should already be cold and always having lows in the freezing. It's very odd for Kentucky weather. That is due to climate change. So when you hear people saying, wow, this weather isn't what it used to be, or how we keep having more hot summers than we used to, our falls are warmer but then they drop off really cold, it's back and forth all the time.
This morning when I was walking down to the bus, it was a little bit warm.
It was. I stepped outside and I was like, I don't need to wear a sweater today. I think I'll be okay with just a blouse. So that's just some pictures of waterfalls and stuff. We want to keep those things and make them pretty. So how can we prevent pollution? This is where we get into it. Yes, June? Yeah, that's one way. So pollution prevention includes equipment or technology modifications, redesign of products, substitution of less toxic raw materials, and work practices, maintenance, training to do better, that kind of thing, and better inventory control. Can you hand me my otter, please? My otter, I guess? Oddington, for that matter. We all know and love Oddington, right? Yes. So, Oddington is made from 100% recycled materials. Okay? So they have taken different recycled materials, fabrics, maybe even some plastics, yeah, probably for his eyes, and created him. So he was 100% made from things that people recycled. Is that not really cool? Do you like what Oddington Farm? Thank you. So now we're getting into recycling. Plastic. So this is probably the easiest way to recycle that we've seen, that we know, right? We've seen this with the most. So this is what it looks like when we usually just throw it in the recycling bin, but this is how it gets compacted. And usually they will take it and they will melt it down and then they'll turn it into different stuff. So recycling plastics to make new products, which Oddington was one of those products. Rather than using fossil resources, it conserves natural resources, so we don't have to get anything else out to make plastic. It saves energy. energy. It reduces those nasty, gross greenhouse gases. It contributes to the economy and creates more jobs. I think we watched something on Magic School Bus about this Friday. Yeah. Her sister, right? Miss Grizzle's sister.
She recycled.
Mm-hmm. And it helps keep plastic waste out of the environment, especially those oceans. Now, recycling glass. Now, I think that looks pretty cool. Recycling glass is easy. It makes it possible to make new glass bottles and jars in as little as 30 days. 1 month. By saving on raw material and using less energy and cutting down the carbon dioxide emissions. Is carbon dioxide good for humans or bad for humans?
Bad.
It is bad.
Bad.
Right? Because we need to breathe in oxygen, not carbon dioxide, right? We put out the carbon dioxide because we don't need it. Yes?
The trees breathe in the carbon
Yes,
dioxide.
exactly. But they can't breathe all of it in if you keep putting it out and putting it out. There comes a point where they just can't eat no more. They can't breathe no more. So, it results in huge environmental payoff. But there's all different kinds of glass that we can recycle. They're a little bit more picky about it. They want you to clean it. They want you to make sure all the labels are off before you put it in there to make their job a little bit easier. And now we have metal. I'm sure some of your parents take off scrap metal. Yeah? Yeah, I'd say quite a few of you. So scrap metal recycling refers to the recovery and processing of recyclable metal materials from end-of-life products. So we're talking old, smashed cars. That's one good way. Or old beams from a building or something along those lines. And they take them, they melt them down, and they make new structures out of those too. When I went to school here, we had a playground made 100% out of recycled plastic. It was awesome. It was the coolest playground around. And paper is recycled by taking it to the recycling plant where they separate it and clean it, and then they wash it with soap to break it down. Have you ever tried to wash paper? How does that work out for you? It just breaks, right?
Yeah.
So they take that, they break it down, and they expose it to heat, and then it breaks down into something called cellulose, which they can take and then create a lot of different things with. And then there's a compost. Do any of your parents have compost piles? Or compost bins? Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so composting is the process of recycling organic materials. That's like your leftover bananas, like the banana peels, the apple cores. What else might be one?
Orange bells.
Yeah. Or it's okay. Yeah. You forgot?
Banana peels.
I just said that. You back there.
Apple.
If they're already eaten, but even if they're rotten, yeah, that could work. So all of those things you can throw into there. And they throw them into something, a bin usually, and you use them to put on your plants. Like if you have a garden at home, you'll take them because they got lots of nutrients and put them on the soil before you plant your plants. So now it is your turn. Okay? You're going to complete an activity where you will cut and sort what can be recycled, composted, or just thrown away completely. Okay? It's actually going to be very fun. You're going to like it a lot. I created it myself. Now, you may begin.